What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks, presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just make a bad life choice. Go over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me and this piece of crap over here. Plus, you get access to our nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop. Plus, most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Well, it's my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every day. Just go to scoresandodds.com/Discord. Throw it into the chat. I'm joined today by Daniel Chavelson. How you doing there?
I was doing well until right before the show started. Taking behind the scenes, you revealed to me that you saw Cocaine Bear, and you didn't mention this to me until right before the show. And now I am thrown off because that's all I want to talk about now is Cocaine Bear. But I guess we'll save that conversation for another day.
It's a banger of a movie. It is. It is just stupendous, fantastic, amazing, mesmerizing. It's everything you thought the movie would be. It has cocaine and a bear.
Does anybody? Yeah, nobody walks in and is like, "Oh man, this is not what I was expecting." Like you know what you're buying a ticket to, right? When you say one for Cocaine Bear, you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, it's in the title what the movie is. It's bear on cocaine.
If you love snakes on a plane, then you'll love her. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm not gonna put pants on for it and leave the house, but if it's on Netflix,
there's not many reasons you would put pants on.
I mean, there are reasons, but look, I have the Netflix and the Hulu, and I got them all. So, like, really, you have to be an incredible movie for me to want to go to the movie theaters these days.
Yeah. Well,
Tarantino, I'll go to the theater for.
Let's talk about some betting. But first, I got screwed on so many bets last night. Just so incredibly screwed. Yep, the hook on so many, and it's not just like normal hook bets, like backdoor cover hook bets. Like Bruce Brown going 2 for 12 from the field and missing by the hook on his bets. It's Tyrese Maxey getting 20 in the first half and only getting 24 when I needed 25, and I had him all the way up to 30. It's stuff like that but you know what? I know I'm at least on the right page of things. I know I'm going to continue making money because this heater is going to keep going. You know how many losing days I've had?
What are you for the month, Grant? I know you've been on fire. Wasn't great yesterday though.
On this show, not that much. I think I'm up $300 on this show, but it's mostly because I absolutely crushed this weekend. Over the last month, I'm up about 35K, 40K.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and I've only worked probably 20 of those days.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I'll take it. Just spitting straight fire.
Let's keep that momentum going forward, Grant.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get right into it. Got nothing in the Washington-Detroit game. Not a lot of lines are out there. So we'll move to the Milwaukee-Orlando game where I'm not sure there's any lines out there anymore either. Fultz over 14.5 points. Yeah, you can still get it minus 115. I got it minus 110. Obviously, Giannis is out and Drew is out playing the B squad for Milwaukee. I'm probably going to have more bets as the day goes on. But right now, I only have bets for Orlando, and I have Fultz over 14.5 points and Paulo Banchero over 19.5 points. I got it plus 100. It's moved all the way to minus 125 now. How does that make you feel?
Well, the defense of Giannis Antetokounmpo and the defense of and the offense, however you want to look at it, just like Giannis being off the court, they said he's not feeling particularly well, and they gave Drew Holiday a neck, so he's out with a neck. Also, Goran Dragic not going to be making his debut just yet for Milwaukee, but Orlando down to, I think, a 2-point dog now at home. I'm good with those bets, and I think you got it in the right time. Like you said, it's adjusted since Wendell Carter is questionable, and I think if he doesn't play, I assume I haven't done the old court IQ on it, but I assume that wouldn't hurt Banchero. It probably would benefit him. I would imagine Mo Wagner would once again jump in the starting lineup, and the brothers Wagner would be in the Orlando starting lineup. That is Franz and Mo. But yeah, we'll see about Carter as well. It doesn't hurt you, but I think you can get a slight little bump. Gary Harris also is questionable too.
Which could potentially get Suggs into the starting lineup. And if Suggs is in the starting lineup, I'm probably rolling on his over. My guess is probably going to be at 12.5. If it's 12.5, go hit the over. I'm already telling you right now. No current lines out there at the moment, but Suggs is a guy I've been making a lot of money off of. over the last few weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not a daily fantasy show, but the DFS like stuff is Cole Anthony was very popular last time out, gonna be popular again, and he would benefit, I suppose, of Harris being out. But like you said, Suggs was the one that drew the start. Suggs was the one I believe who closed as well. So looks like Suggs is ahead of Anthony at least as of last game. So yeah, if you can get yourself some Suggs now, but like you said, it's not available if you want to speculate. You know, Orlando's going nowhere, and Gary Harris is old. You know, when Orlando is theoretically good, whatever that is, Gary Harris is not on that team. Maybe Suggs is. It's possible. So they want to, you know, maybe Anthony is. But
and he hasn't been shooting the ball great over the last month. So if he actually comes around and starts shooting the ball well, he could be crushing these props. Moving on to the next game, we got Philly going up against Minnesota. Another line that I have positive closing line value on at the moment is Embiid over 31.5 points. I'm not terribly worried about Gobert. I think Embiid can crush Gobert. Good pace matchup. Now Harden, Harris, and Tucker are all questionable. Embiid's lines moved to 32.5. I still kind of like that over at 32.5. I got 31.5. But overall, I think Embiid's going to go nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I probably think his PRA is looking pretty solid as well. I could imagine if Harden steps aside. I think Maxey and Embiid both see a nice little bump as far as their assist rates. I'm with you. I'm not afraid about Gobert. Like whatever. Embiid's just basically matchup proof. Tucker being questionable, I don't know if that helps Embiid or hurts him. I don't think it matters really, to be honest. But you know, obviously Tucker is a great guy to have in the court when you have other players because he does not take any shots. Basically just stands in the corner and takes up zero usage essentially. I guess he would get replaced by Jalen McDaniels. I suppose that's who he'll be. Not a big usage guy either. If Harris steps aside, it'll probably be Melton drawing the start. But and if Harden doesn't go, I mean, Maxey is just could really get unleashed. And are Maxey numbers out there right now? They probably got pulled.
They are not currently out there right now. I hit his ladder last night again. Still bitter about that, but yeah, I'll be hitting Maxey over as if it's in the low 20s. Like he's been crushing. Sure. He's been playing a ton of minutes. He's been playing like he was earlier on in the season before he got injured. He's been solid.
So I'm pretty sure. Let me double check this. I think Maxey and Harden basically have the same usage. Yeah, Harden's usage is 25%. Maxey's usage is 24%. So yeah, as far as shooting the ball, I mean they're basically taking the same amount of shots. Obviously, Harden more of a distributor and more involved in the offense and from daily fantasy or just fantasy player and generally grabs more boards, but. Yeah, Maxey's shooting just as much as Harden. Embiid, by the way, 37%. If there's any curiosity whose team this is, right, as they do that, it's Embiid's team. Yeah, 37. Well, yeah, there you go. But, yeah, that's certainly something to monitor as far as the Harden news is a big deal, obviously.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, we got Charlotte going up against the Knicks. I have one bet in this game. It's Mark Williams, over 10.5 points. You know what we have projected at?
I'm going to say we haven't projected at 12.5 points.
13, close. You were close there. Yeah, projected at 13. He said the over in 6 out of the last 8 games. I know there's potential blowout here, but every single night there's a potential blowout in Charlotte. Don't think it's going to change too much. Mark Williams will probably still get a decent amount of minutes unless it becomes a ridiculous blowout here. 10.5 points, too low of a line over at Caesars, even at minus 121 juice.
The only negative I'm going to throw on that is the Knicks. Number one team in basketball as far as suppressing points in the paint. Nobody gives up points in the paint, fewer points in the paint per game than New York, and that's kind of where Mark Williams lives. He's not going to step outside and bang a three, but I think it's sort of baked in as well. But just wanted to note that.
Yep. No, I was aware of that. Yeah, I think giving up the least amount of points to opposing centers, which coincides with that point perfectly. But yeah. Here's a game that I think you're going to agree with me very much on all my bets. Brooklyn going up against Houston. What does Houston give up a lot of? There's two things, obviously.
Points and specifically three-pointers.
Specifically three-pointers. The other one was steals, but
and blocks.
Stocks. So stocks and three-pointers are the main two things. But I don't have any stocks bets or steals bets or blocks bets in this game. But I do, however, have a banger of a 3-point bet that I hit the ladder to an extent. Cam Johnson over 2.5 3-pointers made, minus 135 at Betfred, Betway. It's actually minus 125 at MGM if you can get it there. And then I took us over 3.5 3-pointers made, plus 185 at Betfred. It's still plus 170 over at FanDuel. Like I said, Houston, second worst defense in the league, giving up the most 3-pointers. Cam Johnson had 7 the other night. Really like his overs here.
So it's not enough to just say that Houston gives up the most 3-pointers made. So they give them the most 3-pointers made, right? They give up 14.7 per game. Put that in context. The second worst team as far as giving up 3-pointers, the Chicago Bulls. They give up 13.1 per game, right? Okay, so that's 1.6 difference as far as threes made. So the Bulls at 13.1. What's the difference between 13.1 and 1.6? We're talking about 11.5, 11.6, right? You basically, they're at 13.1, and the 10th best team in the league as far as giving up threes, Atlanta, 11.8. Just the difference between the worst team and the second worst team is more dramatic than the second worst team and like the 10th best team, if you understand my point. They're really, really bad at giving up threes. It's not enough to just say they're the worst. They're distinctly worse than everybody else as far as giving up threes. And I like, why not Bridges? I talked about this before. This is, of course, the team that Clay got his 12 or 14 against. This is the team that Lillard put 70 plus against. The Rockets are just absolutely horrendous defensively. They're giving them tons of threes as well. And unfortunately for myself, I was on Pool the night that Clay put up all those threes. And I talked about it. I think I talked about it in this show. Like, hit the ladders on all of them. And you're not going to hit all of them, of course. But you don't need to. When you get the right person on the right ladder, they're going to pay for everything and then some. You talk about Cam Johnson, and I like it. I like Cam Johnson as far as a ladder. Why not ladder Bridges as well? Why not hit DFS? I'm looking at the lines right now on, let's see, Cam Johnson. Yeah, Mikal Bridges, they make 3 threes is plus 180. DFS, they make 3 threes is plus 270. Like, they're going to give up threes, and these are the guys that are going to make them. I can't tell you that, one guy might hit 10, the others might hit 1 or 2. But I really think just all of them should be hit. Bridges plus 180, DFS plus 270. Did you say you bet Cam Johnson minus 145? I don't know if I love that. Just laying the
minus 135.
Okay, yeah, that's obviously better. But yeah, it just.
So I
it
do
just
have
seems
Bridges over points at 24.5. It's not too long ago. It was sitting at 17.5, 18.5, and I've been hitting it every single night since. And now it's up to 24.5, and I'm still hitting the over considering the matchup. He's had 30 plus in 3 out of the last 4 games. He's clearly the alpha in this offense and goes up against the second worst defensive team in the league. And they always seem to give up a massive amount of points to an opposing superstar, which Bridges is starting to turn into a superstar at this point. So, yeah, I rolled with Bridges over.
I was writing this up in the middle of the night, actually, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, watching this line move because it came out at like 22.5. And as I was writing it up on Scores and Odds, the line changed. And I'm like, oh, man. And then after I with the modified line, and I found it, I don't love laying 130, but I was laying 130 at 23.5. Now it's at 23.5, 140 on DK. Now, I'm always curious to get your take on this. Like, it's 23.5, 140 on DK. You got to lay 140, or it's 25.5, lay 104 on FanDuel. I think it's worth, the almost 36-point difference to get the 1 point more, right? On FanDuel, would you agree with that?
Yeah. No, I generally. My general rule is for points, unless if it's something around like in between 20 and 35, it's about a 20-point difference. Like, so 20 points of juice difference is generally when I change. So like you said, it's 25 points different. Is it 20? Did you say 25 points?
35 points difference. Yeah, Grant,
yeah.
the difference.
That's
so
it's honestly, that's a little bit tough. I'd probably go with the over 25.5. But yeah, that's a little bit of a tough line there. All I know is I got it at minus 115 like an hour ago. So.
Okay, at minus 115, 24.5, and that looks like that's gone. By the way, You can get it at Caesars at 24.5 minus 137, unless you got it at one of your Colorado specific books or something like that, or Betfred or Sports Illustrated or something like that.
I got a Betfred. Betfred's actually in like 10 states.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more popular than you think. I generally try and I'm not going to ride a Bet Maverick.
I don't know what Bet Maverick is. I'm more of a goose guy. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, Bet Maverick is, and I'm not going to ride a Bally Bet where they only let you get $15 down for a prop. It's just
what's the point?
Not worth my time. But yeah, Betfred is in enough states now where I tend to write them up. And same thing with Bet365, who will limit you very quickly.
Don't be too good.
Oh yeah, no, I've been limited from multiple different states on them very quickly. But yeah, moving on to the next game, we got Golden State going up against OKC. I got one bet, Steph Curry over 36.5 points, rebounds, assists. So this is one that's just kind of weird. It's finally moved. All right, it's moved. Still don't mind it at minus 105 at 37.5, but yeah, this was at 36.5 in some spots, 37.5 in some spots, 38.5 over at FanDuel. Almost any time I see 2 full points different over at FanDuel from another line, I know that FanDuel is the right line. Almost every single time, I know FanDuel is the right line, and I blindly hit it. I don't have anything. I didn't even look into this at all. I just saw that RG liked it, and I hit the over. You still there, Daniel?
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can tell my my internet connection just got a little funky on me. Can you still hear me or no? I don't like visual.
I can still hear you. I can't see you.
Okay, that's strange.
But we don't want to see you.
Understood. Yeah, I should have shaved today.
Okay, no, you should never shave again. You should let that mustache grow or grow beard.
I wish I had the ability. If there was a pill I can take to grow a beard, I would. But unfortunately, maybe there is.
You had a pretty Loraxy mustache, and I say you bring it back.
Yeah, it was it was not for the faint of hearts. If it was rated like at least NC-17 potential. Well, maybe an NC-17 or a hard R. It's not for the kids.
I mean, you had it at my wedding, and I wasn't even disappointed when women's underwear were just flying around at the side of
it. I think that was Dude Man Pa that was involved. I think that was the reason why that happened. Ryan was
no, it was definitely the mustache and me just looking so good.
Yeah, you lost some garments actually, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
You lost a lot of clothes throughout the evening, but that was
strangely enough, both the people that caught the garter and the bouquet are now engaged.
Oh yeah, to each other.
Yeah. No.
Was it rigged? Was that a setup?
The bouquet might have been a little bit rigged. I'm not sure, but the garter was not rigged. I just flung it back.
I got
there you go. Now you got rid of your backdrop.
Yeah. Oh, it's my backdrop. Oh my God, look, it's exposed. You don't ever get to the almanac. That's unfortunate. There's the old green screen. But my apologies. I'm trying to fix that on the fly.
That's all good. I mean, your audio has been fine, so that's all that matters. I've got nothing in the Utah-Dallas game. I assume you have nothing in that game.
Not really. No. Jalen Williams, though, I just want to note that for OKC has been ruled out. That guy's been awesome. He's been he might be the rookie of the year, sneakily. Maybe it's probably too late and it's going to be Banchero, but if people are paying attention, I know it's OKC and really only you talk about SGA. And
what are the rookie of the year odds? I haven't even since every site. I've won so much money on MVP and rookie of the year and all those things last year that
they won't let you bet it.
Yeah, no site's really going to let me bet it. Yeah, Palo is just the massive odds on, not even remotely close favorite, minus 3,500. Mathurin is number 2 at plus 1,800, and Jalen Williams is number 3. But that's.
They were talking about him being nominated for Player of the Month, not Rookie of the Month, Player of the Month in the Western Conference. He was awesome last month. He's closing really strong, but again, maybe he didn't get. Banchero's got this massive lead, and unless he gets injured, and we're already maybe 20 games left, less than 20 games left. So I think it's essentially his. It's not an Evan Mobley situation like we had last year, where if only that guy would have just stayed healthy, and he lost 10, 15 games or so down the stretch, and then they gave it to Scotty Barnes. Which, come on, It's ridiculous. But
Scotty
not that I'm
Barnes.
bitter about it. What's that?
Yeah, you and me both. We both had a lot of money on that. A lot of money.
Yes. Very upset about the voters losing their minds.
Between the two of us, that was 5 figures that we lost.
Yeah, I believe it was. It's kind of a bummer, but you move on. It's you care about today and today only, and you kind of power through. I mean, we got to get another winner to make up for it.
Tax deduction.
There you go.
All right, last game of the night, we got Memphis going up against LA. Obviously, still without Ja. I got 3 bets. So first one, I'm going to shout out to SBK, Stephen Brian Keach, Stephen. What is SPK's? Byron Keach.
Yeah. Oh, it's Byron, like a lord. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. So shout out to him first on this one. Tyus Jones over 1.5 blocks plus steals. -111 at Caesars. Do you know what his steals line is? Over 1.5 steals.
I saw there was one where just I think it was like even, and basically every time that Ja doesn't play, of course Tyus Jones draws the start, plays about 34 minutes or so. Essentially every game, if not one game, he's gotten multiple steals. So yeah, that feels like a pretty good bet. I like it. I mean, you're betting for you're hoping on 1 or 2 goofy things to happen, but they just happen with Tyus Jones. Good. We always talk about, or I always talk about Tyus Jones being the best backup point guard in the league. I don't know if I consider Malcolm Brogdon a backup point guard. He kind of sort of is, but you know what I mean? It used to be Jalen Brunson, who's since graduated. What's that?
Tyus Jones is probably better. Tyus Jones would have been perfect on?
I don't know.
Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, he would work with a lot of teams, though, right? You're saying playing the Russ role is that you're talking about? Yeah,
I'm saying he'd be perfect on the Clippers. He'd be perfect on Philly.
He's good on any team.
I mean, I don't know if he'd help out the Lakers that much. LeBron needs the ball in his hand.
Okay.
I don't know if he would help out the Kings, outside of being a backup point, but legit being the starting point guard for the Clippers, he would add 4 or 5 wins to them.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. Just pulling up. I wanted to see some pace stuff recently.
But Tyus Jones, SBK mentioned something interesting. Over 1.5 steals, Tyus Jones on DK was -110. Over 1.5 blocks plus steals was -105.
Huh.
Yeah.
So wait, you get blocks just for fun, and the line gets better.
Yep.
How many blocks does Tyus Jones have in the season? I'm going to say 20. I don't know.
10.
I don't
He's
think
averaging
he's known
0.1 per game. Yeah.
I mean, whatever it is, though, they're just throwing it in for funsies.
Well, and because you get better odds. Yeah. Then I have Tillman under 11.5 points, -115 at Caesars. And then Anthony Davis, big line, but I was still hitting the over 28.5 points, -119 at Caesars. Davis has been solid, up-paced matchup, even though I don't think they're running at the same pace in Memphis without Ja on the floor. But Davis, 39, 38 points in the last 2 games, 28 before that, 30 before that. Since LeBron's been out and he's been playing a boatload of minutes, just been crushing it.
Memphis was a 102 pace last game for whatever it's worth. That's pretty fast. That's just one game, but the game without Ja, I can't pull it up on the fly. Game without Ja. I guess you could type in the stat views or something like that. But why do you not like Tillman? I'm curious. What's your issue with him?
Just think the number's too high.
Yeah, I mean, we're assuming he's going to draw the start. There's no Adams, obviously. There's a threat of foul trouble, I suppose. What are we projecting for minutes for Tillman? Close to 30, I would assume.
I would assume 28 would be my guess. Let's see. 30.
30 on the nose, yeah. All right. And that was points you're talking about?
Yep. Under 11.5 points.
Okay. Interesting. And Clark obviously out for the season too. Say it again?
Someone in chat asking about blocks plus steals props for Davis. I haven't looked into them. I don't know.
I haven't either.
But
By
I
the
know
way,
with
did you-
Tyus Jones in there that I think he has the highest assist to turnover ratio in like the last decade by a decent margin.
Yeah, he takes pretty good care of the ball.
Yeah.
Historically.
So I don't.
Did you have anything as far as you're speaking of stocks? We talked about Houston like giving up all those threes. Are you firing on any like steals or blocks for Brooklyn?
Not
I was
at
thinking
this
DFS
moment.
could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, not at this moment. I'm probably
night.
going to look into it some more. I wonder what DFS is.
It was a pretty good number, I thought, if I remember correctly. And these things change.
Minus 145 to get a steal at DK. That's not bad.
Like he's going to get a steal, right?
I would assume so. Plus 140 to get a block. I'm going to look.
What do your numbers say as far as what is the average in the season, Dorian Finney-Smith?
He's averaging 0.8 steals per game, 0.5 blocks per game.
Is that down? I feel like that's down. I'm pulling up his career stuff because I feel like that's historically he's better than that as far as steals. So this year, right, is per 36 this year. Okay, this is with Brooklyn, right? Okay, with Brooklyn it's 0.4, which is small sample, 10 games. With Dallas it's 1.1. It's still okay. So for his career, his per 36 is 1, so that's about right. He's basically where he's at, and he averages a half a block per 36, 0.6. That's his career numbers in line as well. So, what's the line as far as getting a block?
Plus 140.
Huh. Plus 140, you get a block?
Yep.
And he averages 0.6 in his career?
Yep.
And this is the most blocked team in the league?
Yep.
Why are we not hitting that? Like it's better than a 50% chance against the average team. What am I missing?
So generally, main thing with that is like, yes, he may average 0.5, but he can have multiple blocks in different games. So he probably only gets a block in roughly 35% of games, considering you can't have less than 0, but you can have more than 1. So that's kind of a misnomer that people don't fully understand.
Yeah.
If it's right at their season average, then generally it's going to hit the under more, especially on a line like that.
But it's plus 140.
Yes, I realize that. So I don't like that line. Well,
Really?
Let me rephrase that. I don't like that line in a normal matchup averaging 0.5. It's not really a great line. But in this matchup, I honestly don't hate it.
Okay. That's where I'm getting at. The factoring in the matchup and the line is kind of what has me interested. And that was per 36, and he's going to play about 30 minutes. So, like he said, he's averaging 0.5 on the season. That's essentially his career average. Career average actually 0.4, but last 3 or 4 seasons, has been 0.5 blocks per game, and his per 36 at 0.6. So I don't know. I think that's kind of interesting. I like that number, plus 140. That's the number in the matchup is what has me excited.
Yep. All right. Well, I have a call in a minute. So anything else before we get on out of here?
I'm going to let you take your call, man.
All right, guys. It's been fun. We'll be back in tomorrow. I'm out of here. Work it.